And we're rolling backstage here at Rockfest 2016. This is 23 years of doing Rockfest. I'm with my good friend Zoltan of Five Finger Death Punch. What's up, brother?
What's up?
Dude, it feels like we've done this before.
Yeah, like a few
Kind of a
hundred
comfortable,
times,
yeah, maybe. How you been?
Pretty good, man.
You know, when you're on the road and you're constantly traveling, because it seems like this band is a machine that never stops.
Yeah.
Do you ever just want to go, God, I wish I was in my own bed tonight. I just want to shut down.
Yeah, it's, that's pretty much it. Yeah, 10
Yeah.
years touring, and we sometimes interrupted with making a record.
Right,
That's
right,
it.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
it, pretty much. No, I mean, I think everybody is kind of like that. The grass
Sure.
is always greener on the
Right.
other side, kind of. If I'm home, after a week, I start to be like, ooh, something's
Get antsy.
missing. Something's missing. When I'm on the road, then you want to go, want to be home. Then,
Sure.
But I'm kind of like a nomad,
Oh, yeah?
I like the motion. I like that we are, hopping
Like to be
around.
doing that
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Sure. Now, for me, this is interesting because, I've been kind of on the inside with this a little bit. You telling me about the whole label aspect and where you guys are. Can you give us a little, kind of the Cliff Note versions of where you guys are at right now? What's the next chapter then of Five Finger Death Punch, I guess?
I mean,
Come on in, brother.
I mean,
you can if you want.
you're fired.
Fire. He's fired.
So
It was Ivan. It was Ivan, by the way.
We rolling, we're rolling on tour. One less people with us now. Two less people with us now.
Right. Another one just came.
There was another one.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a thing like people can read between the lines. I don't really have to throw
Sure.
grenades into the whole thing. This is our last record with the label that we been with. And
Are you excited about that?
well,
the
look,
record, the music in
we
general.
accomplished a lot of great things together,
Sure.
so there's no doubt about it.
That's
you know what I
great,
mean?
yeah.
And there's a next chapter in our lives, and this is what it is, and hopefully it doesn't becomes an ugly ex-wife. You know what I mean? That's kind
Nobody
of the
wants
idea.
that, for sure.
I want to remember this, like, us and
positive.
this label.
Sure.
We are the only band on the label, so kind of I look at it like it's us and this label together did something great, as in we are an indie band. It's an indie label,
Right.
the only band, as I said, on the label, and we didn't have the, like people imagine it's like, yeah, it's a major label band, it's an industry machine, and there is this millions of dollars budget. It's all bullshit. None of that ever happened. And you know this. None
Sure.
of that happened. This
Right.
this is a truly independent band. We recorded our first album on our own, and this
Yep.
label put it out, and pretty much we always operated on a shoestring budget, but smart.
Right.
Work smart, not hard.
Yeah.
That's the kind of motto. And so we did a really great stuff, and now we we will accomplish our last album, and there is a the idea is always that our career is keep moving.
Sure.
And this record just have to be great. And then if we can finish it tomorrow, then it's finished tomorrow. If it takes another year to finish, and that's what it takes. It doesn't.
We'll
really,
talk about that, though, how difficult that is to be on the road. As much as you guys
Uh-huh.
are on the road and to write a record at the same time, how do you split? How do you stop and be creative, truly creative, which you need to be free, open-minded, coming up with new ideas? How do you do that? How do you balance that?
you know what? I think the entire generation, everybody in the world today have kind of ADD, like
Sure.
between your, mobile devices and it's information is coming at you 100 miles an hour,
Right.
any given moment, no matter where you are, right? So I guess I think we are used to that.
Sure.
We are always in
Sure.
motion, and we always been working anyway. Like the band is sort of, everybody's a workaholic. This is what we do.
Sure.
This is, in fact, I think we are one of, like I can't really go on vacation and shut down my phone.
Hmm.
I can't do that. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right.
So this is like a typical, there are movies about
Yeah.
people like that, right?
Right.
And that's just what it is. We all have a studio at home,
Yeah.
and then we have, Kevin's studio in Las Vegas, so he's there. So somebody's always working on something, and I think it's about efficiency. If I'm working on something in a studio, then Jason, Jeremy is working in theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm going home and working on some pre-production on mine, then
Right.
they're in the studio. So we always just kind of bouncing around.
I see too that I have to. Social media is a thing. And were you at one time ever anti that thing, or do you, you understand the worth of it and yet embrace it? Because I see, you're on Snapchat, you're on the Instagram and stuff. Do you like it? Do you appreciate it?
Well,
do you?
it's the kind of thing where if we approach it from the perspective that if you if you're not doing it, you're a dinosaur.
Sure.
Right? You know,
That makes
you're
sense.
not part of the,
Right.
you know, the information superhighway, so to speak. It's you know, if you think about it, like when your grandma doesn't know how to turn on the VCR, right?
She doesn't, by the way.
Okay, so then you would be like, Jesus, you know. It's the same thing. Like if you wouldn't know how to use social media, and it's like, think about it. It's some way, it's an evolution.
Sure.
In some way, it's an evolution because we are all connected. Information, you don't have to know everything now, right? You
Yep.
go online and Google it, and whatever information you don't have, you can get it.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to do, and I do this, right? I'm working on any program, right? Pro Tools, whatever, and I'm
Sure.
like, shit, how that? I don't remember that plugin. How does that work? YouTube.
Yeah. It's there.
It's there.
It's
It's
right
there.
there for you. Yeah.
So pretty much it's a sort of an evolution of mankind in a way
It's
that
a connection
you have,
too with your fans, which
yes,
is
and
fantastic.
there is information that's available. You have instant feedback from
Right.
people. You know, you get, you know, you can talk to your fans. You know, so
Right. Right.
I think and that's part of life today. You know,
Some of your fans ever giving you
To me,
inspiration,
you
though?
know,
I mean,
well, look, Snapchat, for example.
You're right.
All right.
It's hilarious. Your shit is
hated
hilarious, by
Snapchat
the way.
the first moment I turned on, I'm like, okay, I used to design user interfaces back in the days, right?
okay, yes.
So when I looked at the interface, I'm like, Jesus Christ, who the hell, what? You know? And I kind of like, I figured it out. I'm like, okay, it's kind of awkward, but it works. But the filters and whatnot, you know, it's kind of silly.
I've seen so many people comment about your Snapchat. It's
But-
insane.
But
like
you
they
know,
love it.
because I'm basically using as a comedy, you
Okay,
know,
sure.
thing. You know, that's
Sure.
my comic relief kind
I
of.
like
You
it.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it has these stupid face effects, and that's pretty much how we communicate to each other now. Just send messages with these distorted faces, and you know, it's funny.
Sure, sure. Now, 10 years
So,
deep
yeah.
with this band, would you say, obviously there's miles and miles to go and many more chapters to be written, but would you say you all are happy?
Well, you know, it's that's a big word. You know,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
I think it's all about perception. You know, you can happiness and the concept of happiness belongs to every single person very individually. You know,
Okay, sure.
you cannot generalize that. What is happy? You know what I mean? Like,
Understood.
like you and a Viking about to fight a battle, right?
Okay.
And
You knew he would go to the fighting. You knew it. I knew it.
But that's what
All right.
happens, right? So you and the Viking gonna fight a battle, and there's 100 people coming at you with, you know, swords and whatnot, right?
Sure.
You're thinking, oh shit. I'm like, I really don't want to die by some unsanitized metal, you know.
Okay. Yeah, that goes through my head often.
Some shit, right?
Right.
and the Viking smiling his ass off because for him he's like, oh my god, there's a battle to fight.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
a battle to, you know. So it's and it's the same battle. He won it, you lost it, and it's the same exact scenario because it's about your perception. So there is no such thing as happiness in general, in my opinion. It's you play around with your own perception.
Yeah.
You know, for example, I always try to look at everything and try to make whatever situation it is, how do I make it funny?
Sure.
And the most obnoxious situations have something funny about it. You can
Right.
find it.
Right.
And if you kind of do it as an exercise,
Sure.
you always find, like, you know what? It's fucked up. It's kind of funny. It happens.
But I'm seeing you guys being really happy right now. As a band, you guys seem to be really happy. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen y'all joking around and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I've seen that for years, but this seems to be a real deal.
Yeah, you know what? Ivan is doing much better. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
so that's a huge plus. You know, he was struggling for a while with, you know, with we say his demons. You know, and and he's doing much better, and that obviously affects everyone.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
it's kind of cool to have our little brother back, so to speak. You know,
That's great.
and it's good to see that, you know, we go out on stage and it's, again, we are that machine that we always, you know, what we used to be.
I want to tell you one thing about Ivan that you guys may or may not know. I may have mentioned this on the radio before, and he's about to put this shirt on here tonight. That dude loves The Offspring.
He does.
He loves The Offspring. He says
Yeah.
they're his favorite band. Now, don't get me wrong, they're a great band, but I'm a little surprised. You'd think it'd be metal, something more metal. I don't know.
He loves Offspring. He loves Tool.
Yeah.
He's a huge Tool fan. Yeah, Misfits. He's
Do you have any bands that are
Misfits fan.
people wouldn't guess that'd be your favorite
Well,
bands?
you know, I grew up in Europe, so most
Sure.
of the bands, you know, would
Sure.
be like European bands. Like I was a huge
But
Accept
now that you're
fan.
here, though, but you probably There's got bands that you've grown to appreciate and really dig
Yeah,
to.
you know what? I listen to like these days what you wouldn't expect. I
Okay.
listen to
Sure.
soundtracks.
Right.
Soundtracks
It's
and
his
scores.
chick. It's his chick makes him listen.
No, no, no.
Yeah, he's
this
talking
is,
like Footloose.
This is why there is something to learn about from soundtracks.
Okay.
Because let's say you watch a movie, right?
Sure.
And a soundtrack is wrong, you notice it immediately. Like, oh
Okay.
shit, something is not right. You
Right,
know?
okay.
So soundtracks have a lot of, because I look at it as a musician.
Sure.
It's the same thing like probably a director is watching a movie. For a director, it's really difficult to enjoy a movie because he sees the lighting mistakes, he sees all the things because that's his job, kind of, right?
Yeah.
So as a musician, I listen to music and I hear things that most people probably don't, unless you're also a musician,
Yeah.
right? And I listen to soundtracks because they are painting a picture.
I like that.
And then think about where music came from back in the days. Classical musicians, they had to be not a vocalist. They had to give you a complex message.
Sure, you're getting
It's
another
really
picture,
difficult
another
to do.
version of the
Yeah,
film.
so
Sure.
you have to kind of really reach in there and with music change people's emotions, and that's the real craft. If you
Sure.
know how to do that, then now you got something.
Right. So
That's how you write hit songs. You have to understand that what music really is.
sure.
Everybody listens to specific bands, and not as a general thing, but as a music for that very specific moment. When you're in a specific mood, you're gonna put a specific band in to your CD player or your iPad or whatever, right?
I love it.
Right?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Everybody listens to music that way. It's not just some random stuff.
Sure.
So there are certain bands that you're gonna listen in certain situations,
Yeah.
right? And why? Because they're the perfect soundtrack for that moment. So as a band, you have to find your voice, and then
Yeah.
you have to be able to create that moment. But the only way you can create that moment if you understand the process that it is really about painting complex emotions with music. And then
Sure.
there are a lot of tricks how to do it. There
Yeah.
are physiological tricks. If you speed up the drums, it's a little bit, let's say a snare comes a little bit faster than it should,
Sure.
right? It's
Yeah.
not exactly on the beat.
Right.
It's not quantized would be the word, right?
Understood.
It's a little bit fast. It will create anxiety. If it's a little bit behind.
Is this a little too much? Is this too advanced for you guys?
Well,
Maybe
it's-
not. Maybe you
it's-
get this. I'm
It's
learning
just-
a lot. I'm learning
It's just
a
how
lot.
it works,
I
and
like it.
if you put the beat, the beat is shuffled a little bit behind,
Sure.
the exact time,
Yep.
then it gives you a feeling of relaxation.
I've been in the studio before. It's
And,
great
yeah,
to learn that stuff.
So that's
yeah.
that's kind of like it's just a physiological effect that you can create. So
I
then
love
that's
this.
just one shade. And if you understand all these little bits and pieces, then you create music that it might sound simple, but it actually isn't.
I like this. Writing Music 101 with Zoltan, a five-finger death punch.
Right?
How do you guys feel? Pablo from 93X, one last question for you, brother, before we let you roll. And you know I got to bring this around because we talk about this probably every damn time we meet. And you know we're probably going to be rapping earlier or later on tonight. Tell me right now, when are you coming to Minneapolis to play? Yeah, bitch. You know I'm going to ask
Yeah,
you.
I know.
Here's the answer.
Do we
I
have
don't know.
anything on
Nobody
that?
knows.
We haven't.
I
played
do
there
know
for-
something, but I'm not saying anything.
Okay, so there is something.
I don't know. Do you know? I don't know.
No, I don't.
I don't know.
Because
Why
we're-
does he not know? He's in the
This
band.
is why. Because you know how it happens. I get the schedule and it's longer than
It's long. I get it.
yeah.
Right. You,
So, I think we
Minneapolis
should.
soon. You haven't played there in like how many records? How many records? Yeah, a couple.
2, 3.
That's insane, right? How
Yeah,
much do
right?
we love this damn band?
We almost started there, kind of.
Yes, in many ways, and we love. And anyways, brother, thank you very much. Rock this tonight. You know we'll catch up tonight to
right.
do our thing. Zoltan, a five-finger death punch. Pablo from 93X, y'all. Thanks for checking this out. 93x.com. Enjoy.